Hey everyone, welcome to the channel for another Escape from Tarkov video. In this one, I'm going to talk about something that's on the mind of every Escape from Tarkov player most of the time. How do I make some serious money? There are a ton of ways to make profit in Escape from Tarkov, and lots of players have varying techniques to how they make their bank balance go up. Some players are expert flea market traders, others are great at getting in and out of loot zones unharmed, and some are just so good in a gunfight that they can kill everyone else and profit from their untimely demise. In this video, I'm going to offer some general tips on how you can reliably make some profit in Escape from Tarkov using a few different methods that don't involve labs or reserve, because in my opinion those maps require you to have a lot of game knowledge and gear before you can even consider running them successfully. I'm thinking this video will actually be the start of a mini series of videos that will give detailed tips on how to profit while playing each of the maps in the game, because they all have different and pretty specific ways to make some serious cash. So with that introduction out of the way, let's talk about a few ways you can make some big profits in Escape from Tarkov. Every time a new player asks me the best way to make money in the early game, I usually always respond with play Interchange, Loot, Profit, and Repeat. Interchange is among the most loot-rich maps in the game, and unlike Shoreline, Labs, Reserve, and Customs, you don't need any specific keys to gain access to most of it, and you aren't dealing with the supercharged AI enemies of Labs or Reserve either. What this means is that Interchange is the perfect map to build up funds, loot equipment and valuable items, and set yourself up so you can afford decent gear to run other maps for quests, looting, and PvP. There are two main sources of loot that you can find scattered all over Interchange: weapon boxes and static loot spawns for industrial and electronics loot on the store shelves. Many of the weapon boxes on Interchange are located in nice, secure, concealed locations on the map, which make them absolutely perfect for sneaky low gear looting, and you can extract some serious value by either selling the weapons and attachments or just keeping them to use yourself for future raids. I have a video on my channel, which I'll link in the description, that shows the location of around 30 weapon crates on Interchange and gives a route from both sides of the map that will let you loot pretty much all of the crates. These aren't all of the weapon crates on the map, but you can fill up a pretty huge backpack with just these crates alone. The second method for profiting without keys on Interchange is to focus on industrial and electronics loot in the 3 superstores and a handful of smaller electronics stores on the map. To be honest, you can reliably make a bigger profit by looting this stuff as opposed to the weapon crates, but it's much riskier than digging through the crates in some shady corners of the map. You'll have to go right into the 3 huge superstores on the map, Idea, Oli, and Goshan, and pick over the store shelves for things like electric motors, tubing, wires, computer parts, tools, water filters, and tons of other miscellaneous loot that is surprisingly valuable. For those who need a quick lesson on how to differentiate between the 3, it's very easy since they are conveniently color-coded. Blue is for Idea, orange is for Goshan, and green for Oli. If you're facing the front of the shopping mall, Idea is on the far left side, Goshan is in the middle but at the very back end, and Oli is on the far right of the mall. Idea is a great place to go for a quick haul of electronics loot like computer parts, camera lenses, and light bulbs. Most of the high value items will spawn in the small office against the wall to the left of the cash registers. On the desks and shelves in these 2 rooms, there's plenty of loot spawns, but it can definitely be a danger zone, so be careful when approaching it. Statues and other high value loot can spawn in the back area as well, in the TV stands and bookshelves. Goshan is a great place to look for tools and the large hand drill which you need for the workbench upgrades in the hideout. These can be found in the back storage shelves leading out to the loading bays, and commonly spawn fairly high value loot items like elite pliers, metal cutting scissors, and many other things. The main store area of Goshan is also the best place in the game to search for Tushonka cans for the therapist quests, and you could even just grab a ton of these cans and trade them for a bunch of AKMs to proper. Finally, we come to Oli, which is the place to be if you want to make some raw profit off of industrial loot. Pretty much any of the store shelves here can spawn valuable items like water filters, motors, silicone tubing, gas analyzers, and helix coils, which all sell for above 10,000 rubles. Oli is also the best place I've found so far to look for gas canisters, and I found multiple on every single trip through this store. There's more than enough loot in there for a whole squad on most raids, so it's quickly become a hotspot, and I suggest you be careful and play sneaky or get in and out really fast to avoid getting killed. There are also 2 electronics stores, one on top of the other near the escalator outside of Oli, that routinely spawn high value electronics loot for you to grab. Hopefully this gets you started on making some money by playing Interchange, and a lot of mid-game quests also take place on this map, so it's good to know how you can make a profit while you have to play it for those quests later on. Unlike the previous tip for Interchange, this one is going to cost you a little investment in either time or Roubles to get started, but it's well worth it once you start seeing just how much profit you can pull out of Shoreline on a successful raid. While there is plenty of loot spread out around Shoreline at various points of interest, most players know that the real money on this map is in the big spooky house on the hill, the Azure Coast Health Resort. This dark, dirty, claustrophobic, multi-leveled building is likely the single most valuable place in the entire game for loot, but that's only if you have the right keys to get into the various locked rooms where the loot is stashed. These keys are usually some of my first big investments after I build up a little bit of cash, and I'm not afraid to spend a significant percentage of my money on these keys because it's guaranteed you will make your money back plus a ton of profit if you can get a few successful raids in. However, if you don't want to spend your hard-earned cash on these keys, that's totally understandable. Luckily, you can also farm most of the important keys because they have a chance to spawn on the map or in the bodies of dead scavs. If you'd rather take that route, I recommend checking out the Escape From Tarkov wiki, which I will link down below. Search up each of the keys I mentioned, and it conveniently shows the spawn point and everything you need to know about the room on the website. If you're looking at the resort from the helicopter, the right-hand side is the east wing, and the left-hand side is the west wing. In my opinion, the east wing has the highest value loot simply because it has more rooms that you can open with high value spawns, but the west wing also has several rooms that are well worth checking out if you can get the keys. For the east wing, the main keys I look for are as follows, and I'll leave them up on the screen for a minute so you can take a look. Also, just to clarify, when I say that you want either this key or that key, it's because both keys will give you access to the same pair of rooms, so if you're buying them, get the cheaper option. On the second floor, I try and get my hands on East Wing 206 or 205 and 226 or 222. Both of these sets of rooms have a high chance to spawn rare barter items like bitcoins, along with several weapon crates and other loot items. For the third floor keys, I aim for 306 or 308, 310, 314, 316, and 328 or the utility closet key. 306 and 308 give access to rooms with multiple barter item spawns, an alcohol spawn, and 4 computers, which I swear have a higher spawn rate for flash drives than anywhere else. These rooms are also needed for a Shoreline quest later in the game, so it's a good key to have. 310 is a high tier loot room that can spawn multiple bitcoins or other rare barter items, so it's a great key to have, and the key can often be found for surprisingly cheap on the flea market. 314 and 316 are kind of optional keys, but each of these rooms spawn several weapon boxes and attachments, so it can sometimes be a good profit, and they're often left unlooted even when the other high value rooms have been looted by someone else. 328 or the utility closet key give you access to a room with some rare electronic spawns, as well as a possible gold chain and some rare weapon parts as well. If you can hit all of these rooms in one run, you're almost guaranteed to have several 100,000 Roubles worth of loot in your backpack, so it's most definitely worth the time and effort to get in and out of the East Wing. For the West Wing, I find these keys are often extremely expensive on the flea market, and I would caution you against spending over 1 million Roubles for these keys. However, if you can find a few specific keys for a good price or loot them from the map, there are a few amazing rooms that you can loot on the west side. The keys I look for the West Wing are all from the second floor, and they're West Wing 216, 220, and either 218, 221, or 222. 216 is a pretty basic room with a few weapon crates and the chance for some rare electronics or barter loot. However, you need this key for a late game quest, so it's a good one to have on you if you can find it. West Wing 220 is a high value loot room that can spawn multiple rare barter items, electronics loot, and a few weapon crates as well. The other 3 are what I call the try room, because any of the keys gives you access to the same 3 rooms where you can find multiple weapon boxes, tons of money spawns, an RSAS or VSS, and the legendary Red Labs keycard on the water barrel in room 218. Hopefully that little breakdown can help you figure out what shoreline keys you want to start looking for, and maybe inspires you to build a whole key set for the map. On a bad run, these rooms can get you a 200,000 rubles or more profit, and on a good run, you can make close to $1 million. It's risky, and it takes some investment to get the keys, but it's definitely a great way to get rich, and each run only takes about 15 to 20 minutes once you get the hang of getting to the resort and getting to extraction quickly. Now this last tip isn't about how to grab crazy loot from the maps, it's actually about how to become a flea market capitalist and make passive profits with almost zero risk involved. First off, let's just talk about the concept of flea market flipping. It's seriously just as easy as buying an item at one price and selling it slightly higher. It's Capitalism 101, folks, but first you need to find an item that people are wanting to buy. In my experience, as long as you have a few traders at level 2, you should be able to pull this off. But the more items you have unlocked, the more options you have for profit, the more money you'll make, and the faster it will come in. Common items to flip for profit are simple things like basic handguards with rails for the AK and M4, sight mounts and mounts for foregrips, upgraded stocks and muzzle attachments, and ammunition. In general, look for things that people need to upgrade their guns, but they don't have access to yet. For example, this wipe I started with the CAA RS-47 handguard and the KAC RIS handguard from Peacekeeper level 2. I would buy around 20 at a time and sell them for a bit more than I paid for them. The trick is not to get greedy and price things fairly so people will buy them fast and you make a few thousand rubles on each sale. Don't price them too high or they'll never sell and it won't really be worth your time. Also, if you look at the gunsmith quest for mechanic and find an item that you have unlocked and people need for those quests, well, that's just a license to print money because people need to buy that piece and they'll pretty much pay whatever price that you want. Once you find something that reliably sells for you, your next step is to corner the market, undercut people until they give up, and enjoy your capitalist domination of the M4 attachment marketplace. Another strategy for the flea market is to loot tons of barter items and sell them for much higher than what the traders would give you on the flea market, but that takes a little bit more effort and time in the raid. My method creates passive income that only really involves clicking through menus and can make you money when you're not even playing the game. In the 0.12 patch, another amazing way to boost your flea market income is through crafting certain items in the hideout and then selling them on the market. Because you're crafting these items, you're getting almost 100% profit out of the deal, and it can really add up if you remember to keep your crafting going at all times. 3 examples of this include IFAKs from the med station level 2, which sell for nearly 20,000 on the market, condensed milk from the nutrition station, which also sell for high value or can be traded for the Kiba key, and the 7.62 by 39 BP ammo crafting from the workbench level 3. There are other crafting options that might make some profit, but these 3 are the ones that have been making me a ton of money by themselves this patch. The BP ammo trade especially, which costs about 11,000 rubles for the gunpowder to craft and can generate 50 to 60,000 in pure profit, is making me some serious cash. Well, that about covers it for today's tips on how to start making some serious money in Escape from Tarkov. It's hard to make easy money in this game, but with some effort and investment, you should be able to make a few million and not have to worry about being broke all the time. Let me know what you think of my idea for a series of videos on how to make money on each map, and comment what map you'd like to see first down below. I'll be streaming more of my progress in the 0.12 patch on Twitch at twitch.tv/jdogthewise, and it'd be great to have you drop by, so I'll leave a link for that down in the description. Thanks for watching the video. As always, feel free to leave any comments, corrections, or suggestions down below, and until next time, stay safe in Tarkov City.